The first thing you have to do is you have to decide. What's going on, guys? Kieran here again with See Fitness. We are back trying to keep the consistency now with the videos, and today's topic of conversation is how to decide what training split to do based around your personal schedule, because there are various different training splits out there. Obviously, so much information. You've got push pull legs, upper lower, the bro split, all this. Okay, so I understand how confusing it is, or certainly can be, for a newbie to the gym deciding on what to do, what the best split is for their schedule, and to optimize as much muscle growth as possible. So I'm going to be breaking down what I believe the best training splits to do based on how many days you have available to train, so you can design your training program around your schedule. And then perhaps I'll do another video on sort of what exercises to do based on those schedules, so I can do a different training video for each different split. But yeah, that's a discussion for another time, so we'll get straight into it. The first thing you have to do is you have to decide and figure out a realistic number of days you can actually go to the gym and want to commit to the gym. So this can be as little as 2 days. A recent study conducted earlier this year actually found that muscle growth can be made in 2 sessions per week with as little as one working set per exercise. So say you only have 2 days to commit, you can still go and make adequate growth. Okay, so all you need to do is one set per exercise, as long as you're training that set to failure. So the first thing you need to do is figure out a realistic number of days that you can commit to the gym, whether that's 2, 3, 4, 5, or even 6 if you really, really want to push it. But I would say anywhere between the 2 to 5 day range is absolutely spot on for most people. In fact, 2 to 4 would suit most. Okay. Once you've done that, so let's just give an example, right? Someone who, a 19, 20-year-old with no commitments, you might be better suited to a 5 or 6 day split. A 30-plus-year-old with kids, a busy job, hectic lifestyle, a lot of social commitments on weekends and stuff like that, you might only be able to commit to 2 days, maybe 3 days per week. So wherever you fit on that scale, let's say 18 to 20, no commitments, 30 plus, loads of commitments, wherever you fit on that scale, that is what you would base your split around. Once we've done that, we need to know how many exercises to do per muscle group per week. So we want to be training each muscle group at least twice per week. Now, a muscle group is obviously chest, that's one muscle group, back is one muscle group, biceps, triceps, shoulders, and so on, legs and all that. Okay, and you want to be hitting them twice per week. So let's say you're doing 2 sessions per week. You want to hit 2 full body sessions to make sure you're hitting all muscle groups correctly in enough volume. And within those within those sessions, you want to be training each muscle group for at least 10 to 20 reps. 10 to 20 sets, working sets, give or take. Okay, the intensity is more important. That's not as important. Certainly aim for as close to the 10 sets per week as you can, but 2 sessions per week per muscle group is the golden number. And then based on that, you can do various different splits. So now I want to go through the splits. So say you can only do 2 days per week, you're going to hit 2 full body sessions. Nice and simple. 2 full body sessions might consist of, let's say, I don't want to overcomplicate this, but I want to talk about compound movements. Now, a compound movement is basically a movement that works multiple muscle groups at a time. So how can you define that? Is if you're moving 2 different joints at a time. So let's say, for example, the squat, you're bending your knees and you're bending your hips. That's going to be targeting multiple muscle groups: quads, bit of hamstring, bit of core, bit of glutes. The bench press, shoulders and elbows. So you're hitting chest, shoulders, and triceps. Pull downs, you're hitting your back, your biceps, all sorts. So they're your sort of compound movements, and then you've got your isolation movements around that, which I'll discuss in a sec. Your isolation movements where you're targeting a specific muscle group. So say, for example, bicep curls, one joint is bending, which is the elbow. You're isolating that bicep, nothing else is working apart from the biceps. Okay, so I digressed a little bit there. So based on that, you want to then decide your program. So let's say you can only do 2 days per week. You will do 2 full body sessions, focusing on the compound movements to start, as many compounds as we can. So you might go for a bench press, a squat, deadlift, some lat pull downs, and then you might finish on a couple of isolation exercises like a lateral shoulder raise and maybe a bicep curl. That's the session 1. Session 2, again, you might focus on the same similar sort of compounds, but you might do a bent over row or some pull-ups. You might do a leg press, and you might do an incline bench or incline dumbbell or barbell, doesn't really matter what. And then again, you might have a few isolation exercises. You might go for a lateral raise, which is this, which we're focusing on the outer part of the shoulder, which is the side delt, okay, which is going to give you that round look. So we need to make sure we're targeting them. Or you might go for a rear delt movement where we're actually moving the arms back. I'm not going to go into specifics on the movements, that'll be for another video. And you might go for a tricep extension, for example. So let's say you want to hit 5 to 7, 8 different exercises, maybe 2 to 3 heavy working sets per exercise. So that would be if you can only commit to 2 days. If you want to even speed up the process even longer, if you're really short of time, you can superset different exercises. So you might do your bench press, have a 20-second break in between, and then you might do your lat pull downs, or you might do a bicep curl or something like that to really speed up the process. There's no other split you would do for a 2-day session, but for a 2-day split, nothing else, because you need to target every muscle group. Moving on to 3 days. So say you've got 3 days available to go to the gym. Again, similar process. You can either do a 3-day full body split, or you can do an upper, lower, and a full body split. So 3-day full body split is the exact same as 2, just do it 3 times instead of twice, which is absolutely fine. Stick to your compounds and a few isolation exercises. You might just get a couple different isolations in there. And then if you go for the upper, lower, full, you can do a more upper body session. So you can maybe do 5, 6 upper body bench press, lat pull down, bent over row, maybe some cable flies, some lateral raises, and some triceps. And then you want to go onto your lower body, which again would be your leg presses, your squats, your hip thrusts, and so on. And then your full body would be a combination of both. So you've got your 2-day and your 3-day splits. And let me just talk about isolation exercises a little bit more now. Okay, so if you are, the reason you want to focus on your main compounds first is because you're targeting multiple muscles. So your isolations are there to basically pick up any bits that missed out. So say you do your full body and you don't really target much bicep, you might finish with a bicep exercise. So you make sure you're targeting all muscle groups, efficiently. And then now we'll move on to the 4-day split. If you can commit to 4 days per week, then again, you've got 2 options, in my opinion. Okay, maybe 3, but if you've got 4 days, you would do potentially 2 upper body sessions and 2 lower body sessions. You can focus again on your upper body's movements twice and your lower body movements twice. Or you can do a push-pull legs. So your push movements are your chest, tricep, and shoulders. Anything that involves pushing, and then you've got your pull, which is anything that involves pulling, which is your back and your biceps. And then you've got your lower body, and then you've got a full day workout. So you can really focus on your back on your pull days, and you can focus more on your chest on your push days, and then you can do full body and lower body on your second 2 days. So that would be a 4-day split. Or you've got your upper and lower, so just 2 days upper, 2 days lower, nice and easy. After that, you've got your 5-day splits, which you can do 2 upper body sessions, 2 lower body sessions, and 1 full body session. That's a very good 5-day split. Or you can do push-pull legs, upper, lower. Doesn't matter which one you do. Again, this is all based on what you prefer. There's no right or wrong answer. Just whatever day you can fit in, and then whatever method you prefer, you use that method. And finally, you've got the 6-day split, which is your push-pull legs, essentially. Nice and easy. Do those twice each. And that is essentially all you need to focus on. So to recap, 2 days, 2 full body sessions. If you can commit to 3 days, 3 full body sessions, or an upper, lower, full. If you can commit to 4 days, you've got 2 upper and 2 lower, or you've got your push-pull legs full. If you can commit to 5 days, you've got 2 upper, 2 lower, 1 full body, or you've got your push-pull legs upper and lower. And if you can do 6 days, then you've got your push-pull legs twice each. Okay, so you should have seen them all come up on the screen now. It might be worth going back and taking a screenshot or writing it down, and then you can base your training program around the amount of days that you can commit to. So I think that pretty much covers everything that we've discussed, everything you need to know. Hopefully you found this useful. If you did, please like and comment for the sake of the algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed already, then please subscribe, share this video. You can find me on Instagram at CYapFitness and TikTok as well. My LinkedIn at Kieran Yap. which I'm not too active on at the minute. And you can also subscribe to my newsletter. So if you'd like to subscribe to that for free weekly information and tips, then please drop a comment and I will send you a link to subscribe. And yeah, if there's anything else you want to see me discuss, then drop a comment and I'll see you on the next one.